It's okay to take some time for yourself, to breathe, to regain your strength. That's how you find your way back.
Hot 95.3 FM. Doing it for you every single day. Scott LaRock, Red Hot. Chrissy D, Red Hot. Full Clip, Red Hot. Red Hot. Daddy Big, Red Hot. Indian and Chris Red Hot. Infamous The Red Hot. Black Rose Supreme, Red Hot. DJ Master, Red Hot. Rico Love, Red Hot. DJ Kofi, aka The Doctor, Red Hot. Hot 95.3 FM.
Discover the ultimate indulgence in self-care with our exceptional massage therapy services for kids and adults, any age, any gender. Book your appointment today and embark on a journey to wellness and rejuvenation. Rediscover or revitalize you.
Girlfriend contact some boy not know this. I'm only come around like tourists on the beach with a few club sodas, bedtime stories, and pose like them.
1, 2. Mic check.
Open up like a magazine and bubble right up like a Sprite for me. See, I wanna.
Kindly stand for the national anthem. As we welcome you to Prime Minister's Cup action for 2025. Group C is where we are this evening. And of course, a double header on tap at Bridgefield in St. Thomas. And with the first matchup, bringing together Notre Dame versus Benfica. Kickoff in place. Benfica in the red jerseys this evening, black shorts and red socks. Kicking from left to right. And Notre Dame, light blue jerseys, light blue shorts, yellow socks, and kicking from right to left. 6 p.m. kickoff. Your referee this evening, Mr. Cleon Cully, ably assisted by assistant referee number 1 on my right-hand side, Mr. John Griffith. On the far side, it's AR2, Corey Lewis. And your 4th official this evening, Mr. Edwin Adams. Here's Dames looking to put their first shot on target, but Malcolm Marshall comes to the rescue for the Benfica team and steals the ball away, ball over the touchline for the first time this evening. Minute and a half on our clocks here at Bridgefield in St. Thomas. center of the island of Barbados, 11 parishes, and the center parishes were those in the middle, land-bound, no sea, would be the one called St. Thomas and the other one called St. George. We're in St. Thomas for this evening's doubleheader, as both teams eager to get points this evening. It's fairly critical that they do, simply because looking at the 4-team table, you see that Gall Hill have marched to the top of the table, compliments of that victory that they got, and sitting pretty on 3 points. Wotton also on 3, Benfica 0, and with the worst goal difference of the 4 teams, Notre Dame 4th with a goal difference of -5, Benfica with -3, and therefore this is a key matchup for any of these 2 teams to get 3 points here, save themselves from being at the bottom, as well as being able to climb the table and perhaps put themselves in contention for a round of 16 spot, depending on what they do in their final games of the preliminary rounds. But on 3 minutes, no real goal-mouth action yet. And in a moment, we'll give you the starting 11s. But first, we'll open up with Marissa Lindsay to give us her initial comments on the first matchup. Good evening to you, Marissa.
Good evening. Good evening to you, Trevor.
Yeah, 3.5 on the clocks here. Let's get a little technical with the equipment and make sure everything is okay as Marissa sets herself ready to give us her first comments. 3.5 minutes in. Here comes Benfica down there, left-hand side. Good possession. We'll try to float it across. Maynard gets in the way. And the Dames, as they're affectionately known, full name, Notre Dame. We can call them the Dames from time to time as well. That ball into the box again. Good clearance in the end as Notre Dame make sure that the Benfica team can't get the first shot off and on target. But of course, a free kick in the process as well. 4 minutes on the clock. Pleasant evening, Marissa.
Good evening to you, Trevor. And to our viewers and listeners joining us live on YouTube here for this Group C fixture in the Prime Minister's Cup. And like you said, we have 2 exciting games on hand here this evening. But the first, Notre Dame against Benfica. And both teams will be looking to earn their first 3 points of the competition. And there are 2 lower division teams, one being in Notre Dame in Division 1, that is. We'll be looking to make a statement there this evening against the Benfica side. And surely, after that 5-0 defeat to Gall Hill, Notre Dame would want to rebound strong against this Benfica team here this evening. I noticed Notre Dame has 3 players in their starting lineup that did not feature in the starting 11 last time they played. You have Marcus in Hill, number 10, that I saw on the ball there just now. You have the veteran Carl Joseph. He needs no introduction. You know what he can do. And also Tremaine Cobham, another veteran of the Notre Dame side. So clearly Notre Dame has come here this afternoon with a well-balanced team in hopes of creating opportunities and scoring goals, Trevor.
Yeah, they looked as though they've bolstered in the wing-backs area, as you said. Cobham, the number 14, and Arthur 6 as well. And St. Hill getting a start in an attacking midfield role of the Dames team. And therefore, the combination of those 3 solidifies the defense in the instance of the first 2, Arthur and Cobham. But for sure, what Dames were lacking in their last game as well was really the ability to attack constantly both left side and right side and provide many more chances than what we saw Graves get. And Carl Joseph when he actually came onto the field as well. So hopefully the changes for them will mean a better performance here this evening, but you won't be able to count out the red and black of Benfica. And we would be hoping that, in fact, they would be hoping that Jamal Ali, the captain, their number 8, that had a hat trick of 2 bullet headers that could have gone on goal and a shot that he didn't put away. And therefore, Benfica suffering because of it. Hopefully, they've done some work in the week to solidify what's going to happen next for them. And if they don't get the 3 points here, they could as well say goodbye to the Prime Minister's Cup for 2025. Same thing for Dames as well. So this is a key matchup in the earlier encounter. Of course, the Christchurch Derby comes to us a little bit later on, at just around 8 o'clock. Pride of Gall Hill versus Wotton. Both of those teams off to very good starts as well. The evening augurs well with the matchups that we have. Lots to play for here at Bridgefield. But at this point in time, with 7.5 on the clock, corner kick to the Benfica team as they look to open up the goal-scoring chances here. 5 men to aim for, as well as we take a quick peek at the Notre Dame's bench, the technical staff there. And Benfica with 5 to aim for in the box. That one going towards the near post, hits the post and comes back and falls right into the hands of Tariq Chase, goalkeeper, on 8 minutes. And he's going to need to thank that post a whole lot there, Marissa, because the ball could have easily have crept in at the near post. But in the end, he had the wherewithal to the patience as well to see where the ball was actually going and make sure he gets his hands on the particular rebound as it came across there. Cleon Cully brought into action again quite early, the referee, giving a free kick to the Benfica in the attacking half. That's a defensive clearance. Rising highest in the air, Notre Dame centre-back Shane Motley, number 23, the former Kickstart man, has transferred to the Dames for the Prime Minister's Cup and made himself really useful. All 6'2" of him going up highest and heading that one over the crossbar. Corner kick on 9 minutes. Ball towards the centre, the penalty spot, and tickles off the defender's head last. Quick turn from the Benfica lads. Right foot attempt, and the ball flicks off the Dames defender in Carl Joseph doing some duties. I believe they're wearing number 20. Got hit really hard there, but his body did the job, Marissa, although he's worse for wear. Probably took that one in his stomach area, but he's up and moving again. You can see him fixing his forehead, so maybe it hit him somewhere up there instead on 10 minutes. Here comes the second successive corner kick, far post, and you could see Shane Motley in a defensive mode there, flicking that one off of the head there again. Dames, you must say, are under pressure. Need to be helped out by Anton Graves on this occasion as he goes left side, sprints away now, gets there first. A little hesitation. Eases past the first defender and the second, and is fouled in the process. Clipped off his feet on 10 minutes. Graves showing that he's up for this one, Marissa. 10 minutes in, Dames with a free kick. This one 25 yards out on the left.
Anton Graves is certainly a young, exciting player. He came through the ranks over the years as a youth player and now, advanced to this level. And so he knows what is required of him up there running alongside Carl Joseph. So perhaps we will see more of that. And Marco St. Hill, who is an attacker as well and can get the ball moving. So with the combination of those three up front there, Notre Dame will look to create some fireworks, hopefully, in the early stages of this Group C encounter here at Bridgefield in the Prime Minister's Cup.
Yeah, we know that the Benfica are always off to a fast start, as we saw in their previous encounter. Benfica, as you know, were beaten in the end 3-0 by Wotton, but they created 3 chances of their own in the first 15 minutes and couldn't put them away. And therefore, the Danes will, if they've done their homework, be obviously cognizant that that's exactly the ploy that Benfica like to deploy, and will need to hold strong in defense. As we've seen, Motley is really ready and up for them. He's already had to save their brushes already. This is save the Notre Dame. Here's Joseph with the restart. Brilliant ball to the far post. And the header, unsuccessful chance to shoot. 12 yards out. And such an easy chance for Graves there. Marissa, you said he needs to come to the party at some stage. He's come, but he hasn't brought his shooting boots. The dribbling boots are okay, as we saw from the way he won the free kick. But from 12 yards, surely he has to get over this ball here. Look, little bit of space and time. Oh, if he's on song, he scores there. But for sure, he's probably just feeling a little bit of the nerves of the first game. And of course, of scoring his first goal as well. But I'm sure of it, that if we were to flash over to the coaching team, they would have been holding their heads and saying that's one. And they couldn't understand why he hasn't been able to rise higher than the ball so that when he hits it, it goes down rather than up. But only he will know the reason why, Marissa.
Certainly, those are the type of chances you need to take in that front line there. And Anton Graves, coach Giancarlo Cobham will expect much of him. And I'm sure he was expecting him to put that one to bed, but chance go a begging there, Trevor.
Yeah, the Dames, as we flash back to match day number 3, were put to bed, spanked, by the Pride of Gall Hill, a 5-0 thrashing. At that stage, it was the biggest margin of victory. Since then, Paradise stepped on the gas and have done a couple of goals better with a 7. But of course, Dames, if they haven't woke up from that particular 5-0, they will have to, at some stage now, realize that they're going to need to score goals and score them very, very quickly here this evening. Down the right for Benfica, far post ball, in on goal. And there it is again. It's that nightmare starting to happen all over again for Jamal Ali. In on goal at 6 yards. And he couldn't figure out the left from the right. In the end, he chose none. And the ball all the way into the waiting arms of Tariq Chase. Said, thank you very much, Mr. Aline. You don't have your boots here this evening. And that could easily have been 1-0. But the score remains 0-0 between Dames and Benfica. Jamal Ali, give us a phrase there, Marissa. Tell us what we can say about him.
Oh, Trevor, he is a young, talented player. I can tell you that much. He just needs to score, and I can tell you, based on what we've seen from the last game against Wotton, this Benfica side, they look promising. They've been able to defend, they've been able to attack, but the finishing, it seemed to be the downfall, for this side. But I believe as they go forward with a bit more patience and control, they can put the ball back of the net.
Right, for sure, the defensive midfield are doing exactly what they should. Up front, Benfica need to throw those nerves out the window, let them blow into the western wind, and come with some goal-scoring techniques, which we haven't seen as yet from Jamal Ali. Perhaps he might need a little bit of pressure off the bench. You see a couple of strikers warming up right about now. You tend to start to realize, well, I'm only getting 15 minutes unless I score a goal or two. And immediately that, most of the time, will shock your psychological into good favor as far as playing and scoring goals and setting them up and so on. So we'll see what the Benfica bench decide to do. Same thing for Dames as well. Anton Graves under pressure. Take that pressure off by depositing the ball in the back of the nets, and Dames will be all the happier for it. 16 minutes in. Dames in possession. Clearance was made. Wasn't brilliant, but good enough to make its way over the touchline as goalkeeper Romario Carter gets involved by clearing the ball and it coming off the defender, and then the attacker lasts and onto a defender again. Quick turn, and out comes Benfica. Dames in possession, however. Will look to continue to pass it and maintain the possession.
Yes, and Carter in this afternoon, Romario Carter, that is Benfica's goalkeeper, given the opportunity in place of Sheldon Parson, who worked extremely hard the last game against Wotton. He was kept very busy, noticeably injured, picking up 1 or 2 injuries, so perhaps that's the reason he's been rested this evening, Trevor. But I'm sure Carter will look to make a good impression for his coach, Christian Freeman. They're here this evening. But what I do like is the fact that Tionka Duggan, wearing the number 9 for Benfica, running down the right flank and constantly attacking the ball and trying to feed his captain, Aline. I'm happy to see him on the field doing what he's supposed to. And he came in for Chakron Jack, of course.
Right, so number changes, as you can see, management of Benfica there having his say and giving us those so 17 and a half on our clocks here. $18 on our clocks here as Benfica look to put it across the box. Chance at edge of the 18-yard box, and the first touch of it isn't that good. And they've given up a real glorious opportunity there. Benfica again building the play up and able to create a chance on the edge of the 18-yard box there, but no real takers as the control wasn't at its best. Dames come out on the right and have won themselves a free kick as Cobham looked to control it. He was tackled illegally. Bit too much muscle there as well, as he had the control of the ball, and then the tackle came in. Oh, as we were taking a little peek at the replay there, Anton Graves coming to the party on 19 minutes, finding themselves in the 6-yard box there. A decent ball into Graves, and he saw the far post gaping and buried it from 12 yards. Dames up and running after 20 minutes. Graves sprinting away. First touch is brilliant. And the second one, he wouldn't let that one get away, Marissa. Notre Dame 1, Benfica 0.
Like I said, Trevor, Anton Graves is a player who knows what it takes to score goals. And we see that there just now, getting past Dondre Bartlett, the central defender there for Benfica, and taking the shot at goal and making up for that earlier missed, at that attempted goal earlier in the match, Trevor.
Yeah, opportunities, as you said, going a begging in the first couple of minutes, and Graves wasn't at the party. Well, perhaps he heard what we said and pulled up those socks and realized that he has to. The team is depending on him to provide the goods up front, as he shares that task with another marksman in Carl Joseph. 2 left footers up front as well, Marissa, so that's going to be good to see how they balance out which one is going to go left and which one's going to go right, basically. But as you can see there, Graves switching from left to right immediately. That paid the Notre Dame the dividends that they were looking for, and perhaps that's the story. That's exactly what they need to do, where Graves perhaps sits on the right hand side of that 2-man attack, with the Danes playing a 4-4-2, and letting Carl Joseph be comfortable more on his much more favored left foot as well, and left hand side of the field as the ball comes across that side as well. So Dames up and running and looking quite decent, but the possession is with Benfica as they go right side this time, sprinting away and looking for a cross. Will be Cadogan, tackles strongly. I believe he wins the throw-in on this near side, 10 yards from the goal line. the number 9 there, as you can see, from our tech team and the cameras into the 22nd minute. Quick glimpse at AR number 1, John Griffith. And the throwing will be, and the restart will come from Captain Jamal Aline. Set piece, as we saw from previous encounters. There's a flag up, so that suggests either not taking it from the right place or his foot came up. The trailing leg came up, and he was adjudged to have thrown the ball illegally. You don't see that too often in semi-pro or pro football, but a bit lazy there not to keep his foot on the ground there, Marissa, and therefore gives up the throw-in and the possession to the team that's leading. That's not. Into minute 24. And the score remains Notre Dame 1, Benfica 0. Benfica with the possession. Throwing from Trey Waldron. And pressure being applied, Marissa. Benfica working their magic on this right-hand side, and they won a corner kick as we head towards minute 25. So Waldron will deliver with his favorite left foot. 5 men, 6 Benfica players to aim for. Goes short instead, edge of the 18-yard box. Right foot shot, and the ball comes off of the legs this time of Tremaine Cobham. Again, Benfica fighting for it, put it across the 18-yard box again. This is Marshall to shoot, far post ball, and a good clearance in the end from the Dames defense. Marshall really taking hold of that ball and driving a right foot 12-yard shot towards goalkeeper Chase, but helped out by his defense. Benfica again on the attack, this time left side, far-sided ball, and that's easy for Dames to see over the touchline after 25 minutes here, but surely Dames living dangerously in their defense, Marissa.
That was very good seeing there by Shane Motley once again, and him along with Jadon Francois French will look to remain vigilant, and keep things tight at the back there, given what they had to endure in the previous match. You know, I'm sure they would not be too pleased with how that unfolded. So tonight they came with, you know, their game with their heads on here this evening in order to prevent too many goals from breaching their defense. And so far, very good work from Motley. As you previously said, Trevor, he came over from the Kickstart Rush family there, and he's back with the men from the Bayland, which is where he originally started as a young player with the Notre Dame team. So he is back home, And I'm sure he will look to have a good game here this evening for the Notre Dame side as they look to not only protect this slim 1-0 lead, but also look to add and build on that against this Benfica attack or team here this evening.
So into minute 27, Marshall prods it inside. Decent first time ball. Gets a shot from over his shoulder there. Tremico Carter-Brown calling for it, but not really making his way to the ball. There's the clearance. Ball to Joseph, who tried to drive through that defense. Again, ball played wide. Aline with the attacking header. Throwing to Benfica down the left-hand side is Cobham with some brilliant skill. First the sombrero over the attacker's head and then the volley up the pitch into minute 28. Benfica in possession again. Marshall all the way to an attacking position as Benfica weigh the odds and the options. Quick turn there coming from Cadogan, but the defense was too smart there on 28 minutes. Benfica speeding up the play. Motley will come out calmly, finds Joseph. Joseph prods it 20 yards to the right. Immediately, Dames looking much more comfortable. Decent ball over to this left-hand side. Need to avoid the tackle, which Terrell Jemmett does very well. Wins the ball again for his team and plays it inside to Motley. Motley with the clearance with his left foot, but not before Aline coming back from a attacking position to defend, raises his foot and catches Motley in the process. Free kick to Dames into the 29th minute, Marissa.
Earlier we saw Tremaine Cobham, like I mentioned, a very senior player now in this Notre Dame side, blocking a shot from Tion Cadogan, getting his body in the right position to ensure that ball does not penetrate the Notre Dame defense. So he is showing his skill set here this evening against this Benfica side. And similarly, Shane Motley, another senior player in the team, you know, commanding the back line there and ensuring that Benfica has to toil and work hard for any possible goal that they will look to account for here this afternoon in Bridgefield. And it's a throw into Benfica as Tion Cadogan looked to take control of that one, and he's still on the ball, sending it forward through the space, and Notre Dame once again defending that one as it goes out of touch, Trevor.
Yeah, Dames are back in numbers, and they seem to be reading those 15 and 20-yard passes, which are coming in and around the final third from the likes of Malcolm Marshall, who's spraying it left and right with some assistance from Trinico Carter-Brown. So Dames looking a bit more solid in defense than what if we compare them to their first game, looking a lot better now. Also for Dames, we've seen Winston Maynard playing a much more reserved position in the middle of the midfield. He's not attacking as much as we saw him in the first half, so the hole that he would have left when he leaves that central midfield position to go to support the front line, which was non-existent basically in the first game. He doesn't have to do that now because two known strikers are up front, Carl Joseph 20 and Anton Graves in number 7. So Maynard can play what the coaches call in the hole, which is just behind the strikers. In case he gets a chance to support Joseph or Graves, he can leave Marco St. Hill to sweep up at the back while he goes forward. If not, he can stay home and make sure that the Benfica team don't create anything that can create a goal for the same Benfica team here at Bridgefield. Is Benfica, however, looking again to come through that central position, and again, that hole being blocked by St. Hill, Maynard as well. But on this occasion, I think there was a high boot there from the Dames man. And on 31 minutes, Dames continue to lead Benfica 1-0 on 31 minutes.
We're so accustomed to seeing Winston Maynard wearing the captain armband here this afternoon for Notre Dame. We would normally see him playing a more attacking role, as you rightfully said there, Trevor. But on this occasion, he is taking a more defensive midfield position as he looked to send the ball in places that are required to get Notre Dame scoring a few goals. So, and this is a team that has a lot of attacking power, because you have the likes of Marco St. Hill, who, like I said earlier, is known to attack, and he can get the ball moving forward as well, along with veterans Carl Joseph and Anton Graves. So it's a team that has very good attacking power and can get goals depending on how the play unfold here. But I also think that Jacoby Gall, needs to get into the game a bit more. I'm not seeing him as much on the ball, so hopefully him and Tyrell Jammett, they're playing on the wings, can possibly get themselves into the game a little more. But Malcolm Marshall, he has a very famous name, but he is playing for Benfica and is one that is there in that defensive midfield, and they will rely heavily on him to get the ball moving in certain attacking position. I see him as a form of one of their playmakers, and him along with Winston Maynard, the battle between those two, Maynard of Notre Dame and Marshall of Benfica, is going to be an interesting one there this afternoon, and so far we're seeing that unfold here this evening.
Yes, for sure. Marshall, as you said, a playmaker. He's also a goal scorer as well, so you'd want to get forward to pop those shots off in and around the 18-yard box for his beloved Benfica. But at this point in time, he's holding that midfield together and looking to spray the balls up front for Jamal Aline and Jadon Pitt. Solid coming together there from the Benfica man in Dondre Bartlett, and the Dames man, Joseph, I believe, feeling the pressure there of a high elbow or an arm there as he protected the ball. The Dames man ran into the elbow. Quick turn as Marco St. Hill showing his skills. Second bite at it from Joseph, and again it's an elbow as referee Cully demonstrates the arm was high, and that will be a free kick to Notre Dame.
A little aggression there shown by Tyrese King there of Benfica. I'm certain they would want to equalize at least by the half time. So it should be interesting, the battle here in the midfield and how they look to go about their business in finding that goal.
Yeah, let's see how this one pans out. At present, it's a slim lead. St. Hill in the middle of the midfield, and he's been hustled and harried by Tion Cadogan, the number 9. As they go in search of their own goal. Dames with the 1-0 lead. Goal scored by Anton Graves on 19 minutes. A nice finish with his not so favoured right foot. Chance for Dames to square. And a good defensive block in the end. Could have gone horribly wrong if it had hit the wrong edge of the shin there of the defender. But sure he's saying a little prayer that it connected to the inside of the boot and went for a corner rather than the outside, and would have gone past, whipped past the keeper, Romario Carter, to make it 2. Corner kick, however, this is Joseph, left-footed, far post, defensive header, and Dames coming out, right foot attempt there, ball coming off the body, and Motley will chase it. Fakes left to go right, and immediately the whistle goes. Player down and injured for Benfica, and therefore looks like a bit of a upper body or head injury, and therefore the game would have to be brought to a halt to follow those protocols. And we're just about 37 minutes on the clock. If we take a quick peek at the Dames bench and substitutes there, everyone looking fairly comfortable, Marissa, with the 1-0 lead.
Yes, I noticed Kyle Gibson is there sitting, but I'm sure he will be called into action should it be required against Benfica here this evening. I also saw Amir Gustave, who played the first match, but is on the bench. So, like I said, this Notre Dame side is a side that is good in terms of quality. They have a good balanced team. So we will see how, they go about their strategy here this afternoon. But they are in the driver's seat in terms of that 1-0 lead. And like I said, they will look to build on that as Benfica, try their best to attack and hopefully equalize going into the half this evening, as Tranico Brancarta is the player there that had to seek medical attention there from the medical staff. So let's hope that he will be okay there for Benfica. As play resume here, and Notre Dame has the ball and will look to send it forward past the Benfica defense, Trevor.
Yeah, minute 38. Quick little ball, 10-yard ball to Joseph. He spreads it wide. Dames on the attack. Terrell Jemmett keeps it in. Floated far post. Right foot shot coming in. And that one takes a deflection, a slight deflection, heading for the far post. And the Dames man about to turn and celebrate. But the ball came off of the Benfica defensive right back. We make it probably, I think that was Dontre Blackett there, the tall defender, and out for a corner kick. Dames looking a whole lot better than their first matchup, and perhaps deserve it to be chance out near post, and the clearance is just as good as the attempted finish there. Dames attempting to, or threatening to make it two. Into the midfield, right foot shot coming in again, and Maynard down the right hand side, prods it inside, and the shot always going high, and not so handsome on 39 minutes. A little bit calmer, and maybe Dames could have been two. Joshua Clark, the late addition there, finding himself on the edge of the 18-yard box, but skies his opportunity. Dames remain 1-0 leaders over Benfica on 39 minutes.
Not a good finish there at all. And it seems to me that the Benfica backline, they've gone asleep. They've fallen asleep. The balls are just coming in left, right, and center, and it seems that everybody's standing, just looking on, Trevor.
Yes, more like a confidence issue, perhaps, going trailing by that first goal and having perhaps 50-55% possession at some points in time before the goal. They probably thought they should have had something on the score sheet to mark that possession as being something positive, but in the end, Dames were much better in their attacking third and finished brilliantly with the Anton Graves goal. And since then, Benfica haven't been able to put together 4 or 5 passes continuously, and that could be the cause of the lack in concentration, and perhaps that may be the reason why they don't look so cohesive at this point in time. But they've won themselves a free kick. Tried to shake off the last 5 or 10 minutes when Dames dominated, and maybe this is the Benfica's chance in the last 5 minutes to, as they say in football, really come to the party and provide a goal-scoring opportunity, perhaps for Aline, or on this occasion, Jaden Pitt, wearing 10. Looks as though he's very interested, Marissa, with those red boots matching his kit. Perhaps he's up to the task of driving a 35-yarder into the back of the nets and waking up this crowd who've made its way to the venue. That one rising and not necessarily troubling chase after 41 minutes. Needs to put it on target, Marissa, otherwise can be no problems for Tariq Chase in the Dames bar.
Jaden Pitt certainly had a good opening game, but this evening he's been somewhat quiet there up front. But let's hope that he can wake up and hopefully give Benfica a goal that they've been searching for. And I believe Notre Dame will want to score handsomely here this afternoon, given the 5-0 defeat that they suffered at the hands of Gall, to give themselves a fighting chance in this Group C. It's not going to be easy, but it's not impossible either. And so far, they've been composed, placing the ball in the right areas, and looking to attack and score past Benfica's defensive third. And credit to Notre Dame's defensive third here this afternoon. They've certainly stood up and defend strongly against a young Benfica attack.
Into minute 43. And Benfica look to make something of the possession. St. Hill for Dames to Joseph, back to St. Hill again. And St. Hill looking much better in this central position than he did when he came in and played slightly wide. Far post ball, the attacking header attempted. He clipped keeper Carter in the process. That's Carl Joseph coming in for a header. Carter had the ball in hand basically and got his legs taken away. Free kick to Benfica on 43 minutes, coming out on this right hand side. We'll look for a quick turn, but some good attacking, some good defending for the Dames number 12 in Gemot there, as he stole that ball away and played it on to the defender last. Dames with the throw-in on 44 minutes. Here's James Arthur up the line. Ball cleared by the defense.
If I must admit, I like Marcus St. Hill playing that wide position, Trevor, as opposed to that defensive midfield. But given as it may, it shows his versatility and what he can do.
Yeah, he's, as you said, he finds himself over on this near side. So he has to stay there while the whole team shuffles around and covers where he should have been. And good coaching tactics there would have allowed the Dames to rotate the squad just a bit. Here's Motley. Gonna need some help from this wide position. Perhaps he should have gone backwards to his central defense. He went wide and he's given up the throw-in rather cheaply. Clearance from Dames. St. Hill with the header. Ball flicked down towards goalkeeper Chase. The Benfica men wanted a free kick, but referee Cully saw nothing wrong with the challenge and clears a clearance from goalkeeper Chase. Decent ball to an inside right and similar position again. Snapshot coming from Graves. Excellent save from Carter's at the same point in time as well, which was absent when Graves scored the first goal. Similar technique in shooting there, Marissa, but Carter equal to the task this time. So you see Cadogan producing the magic, floating that one with a little bit of a clip on it, but it made its way over the crossbar, and that's the danger of Tion Cadogan playing on the right hand side with a superb left foot, as we saw there, unable to place it on target, and therefore Dames live to fight another day. Here he comes again, squares it, chance for a finish, goal! Dames won, Benfica won. Benfica come to the party 45 minutes in. And what we saw of Tion Cadogan there was exquisite skill as he destroyed the first player with the chest control, took it towards the inside right, and then switched to his right foot. Oh, it's ingenuity at its best. Cadogan down the right-hand side. You thought he was going to use his left. He used his right instead to reach chase. No chance at near post or far. Dames won. Benfica won.
As I mentioned earlier, Tion Cadogan, a very skillful player there on the right flank. He had the time, the space, and the finish. All the ingredients you need for a wonderful equalizer at halftime. As the referee Cleon Colley sounds his whistle to signal halftime here at Britfield, as Notre Dame won, Benfica won here at halftime, Trevor.
Yep, that's the luck of the draw. You can see it straight away that Benfica had the last 5 minutes and they used it to great advantage. We're at halftime and we're going to our halftime giveaways. Compliments of Rude Boy. Meet us in the middle. Damien.
Yeah, time to win with Rude Boy.